Hello everybody, this is Blade Cross EXE, and welcome back to Fate Grand Order's Agartha Singularity boss fights. Alright, we've made our way into the Nightless City. This place isn't really that much better than the last one. The only difference is that men are actually allowed to walk around freely here, as long as they're accompanied by their women masters. If they break any of the laws, they're subject to cruel punishment at the hands of the torturers. We found the assassin of Nightless City, who is the Empress, and we are about to challenge her, I believe. I think I have written down that I'm going for arrows 5 and 6. I might go ahead and do 5, 6, and 7, depending on if the last one ends up being story relevant. These must be your personal chambers. Indeed. How good of you to come, Shigo. Confirmed. That's the assassin of Nightless City. But who's that next to her? Caster of Nightless City. Another sermon reading. Be careful, Master. Oh yes, I suppose you haven't met yet. You wouldn't have met yet, would you? Very well, you may introduce yourself. Alright, I am a caster servant. I serve as a tactician here in the Nightless City. Another woman, but she seems so uncomfortable. And her eyes, they're so sad. It's as though she's scared of everything. Oh ho, a tactician. And here I thought you were the type to lead a nation with a touch more whimsically. Don't be ridiculous. The best rulers are those who know how to make use of their subjects. I take great pride in my choice adjutants? My choice of adjutants? Is that how you pronounce that? Skilled underlings deserve to be valued, to be given the sort of work that suits those skills. I am an unrivaled judge of talent, and I would go so far as to say that not even the great Qin Shi Huang or my ancestor Liu Bang can surpass me. Case in point, it was all thanks to Caster's clever playing that I was so easily able to drown those filthy rats in yeast. Ha ha ha. You must be the Caster Dahoud mentioned. I'm afraid it's true. I did once serve yeast. But if I had stayed there, well, I didn't want to die, so... Dahoud pursued hedonistic pleasure to its absolute extreme. She never planned for the future, but always chose to live purely for the moment. Caster tried to warn her over and over, but that lust-crazed wench refused to listen. In time, she realized that yeast would one day come to an ignominious end, and decided to come work for me. And I'm truly grateful for your compassion, Your Highness. But put some clothes on, please. Speaking of which, what do you think of my Nightless City? It's nothing at all like the pitiful pile of planks that used to be yeast, right? Honestly, they're both pretty horrible. Indeed. I knew you'd say as well. What? Whoa, she just fell right off her throne and face planted, just like in my cartoons. Oh, she sure popped right back up there, though. Absurd. You must be lying to me. There's no other reason why you would say such a thing. You couldn't possibly fail to see the splendor after witnessing it firsthand. I cannot believe otherwise. Whatever your original purpose in coming here, you should have seen enough of my city before I granted you an audience to recognize its brilliance. If anything, I was certain that you would arrive, prostrate yourself before me, and beg for your lives in my glorious city. Don't you agree, tactician? Yes, of course. I couldn't agree more. I can see she's doing her best to avert her eyes. Hey, we're the ones who can't believe what we're hearing. How could you be so proud of this glowy mess? You need to ask. The answer is blindingly obvious. This city is light itself. Where there is light, there is justice. Thus, the city is overwhelmingly just. In fact, it is nothing but justice. That's utterly absurd. You have torture openly displayed. The men your women keep are terrified of it, and rightfully so. People rat each other out left and right. Nobody can trust anybody, let alone speak their minds freely. Well, of course, I strongly encourage my subjects to report any transgressions they witness after all. What? If anything, I would distrust those who didn't. Evil should not be hidden. Crimes should not be covered up. They should say something the moment they, as such, sense a wrongdoing afoot. That way, my little torturers can take over and compel the offender to come clean. There's so much wrong with that. I don't even know where to start. Just off the top of my head, what about the false accusations or misunderstandings? A system like that would surely incentivize people to falsify reports in order to kick others down. Never. That sort of thing only happens in other lesser nations. A truly just nation, one that holds itself to the highest standard, there can be no mistakes and certainly no false accusations. Nor any who would misuse the reporting system for their own ends. Such a thing would never happen. Well, they sure as hell exist here. The Nightless City is still young, and some growing pains are to be expected. But as my methods are spread to take root, this city will quickly grow closer to that ideal. Nonetheless, with all that said, even you cannot deny that the city is far more peaceful and orderly than Ys or El Dorado. Surely you saw for yourselves how brightly it glitters. That is all the proof you could need to know that my reign is good and proper. Under my rule, evil will die out, the strong will assume responsibility and flourish, and the weak will serve as their foundation. What could possibly be wrong with that? Even a child could see it for the simple truth of this path. In one sense, she's right. That would be a strong manner in which to lead a country, but... Here, I'll spell it out for you. In a nation where everyone holds themselves to the highest standards, reporting wrongdoing is the perfect approach. With all my subjects vigilant, then there would be no tolerance for evil of any kind, no matter how small. Eventually, that approach will lead to the end of evil entirely. And so the goal of proper conduct is precisely what will set people on the correct path. I don't know if this is the best way to say this, but you're wrong. You're just wrong. Even if that did make evil disappear, and no more crimes ever took place in this nation anymore, I can't imagine that the people who live there could ever smile. I agree. That's not true peace at all. Grr. I don't know who that voice belongs to, but she's clearly dissing me. How dare you? None of you even have the slightest bit of self-control. And it's not just you. All of humanity is like that. You all need to learn to endure the arduous hardships, to work hard, to study with diligence. As long as one builds character like that, evil will never take root in their minds. In time, there'll no longer be a need for transgressions to be reported. And yet, you dare to criticize my rule, and in my presence. Castor, what is the punishment for such a heinous crime? I don't think we have a punishment for this particular crime, but if we add to the bothering me for no specific reason category, then the punishment would be for your highness to torture them yourself, and then life in prison. Yes, that will do. Very well then. I shall first torture you myself, and then you can begin your new life rotting in my dungeon. However, since I am nothing if not merciful, I shall call my best torturers, those who can compel anyone to speak the truth. In effect, I shall make it easier for you to repent and confess your true feelings. Namely, I beg your forgiveness. Your Nightless City is actually super awesome, and I was just so shy I couldn't come out and say that before. Not that it will lessen the severity of your sentence, of course. I'm afraid that not even the nation's ruler can bend its laws once she has made them. Castor, you will assist me. If these people are truly foolish enough to fail to understand the righteousness of my path, then they have come here with the goal of destroying this city. If they succeed, then you will not escape unscathed. Then it seems I have no choice. I don't want to die, so I will fight. Great, a whole bunch of those torturers again. We may still have many interlopers to deal with, but we are also finally within reach of our goal. We cannot let this chance go to waste. You're up against an assassin and a caster. We'll still need to know their true names, so please be careful. Alright. You guys think that you know a lot about torture. You're dealing with Vlad the Impaler here. Got a double null phantasm next turn. Have a zap. There we go. Alright, I've only used Caster of Nightless City like once or twice. Oh, she doesn't even have a noble phantasm. Never mind. She's not a threat. Take out the assassin first.
これこそは我が父を滅ぼし邪剣クラレンドブラストーカー。うるせえ。
That's a genie. Alright, just keep this up and this fight should be over in no time. Goodbye. Good job, Waver. So yeah, now that Castor's over here alone, not gonna be any trouble at all. It's going to go ahead and shell out a lot of damage. Go ahead and dock that defense while we're at it. So yeah, as I'm sure I mentioned on another video, at the time of recording this, the Dead Heat Summer Race rerun's coming back around soon. Castor Nightless City showed up in that one, and that's what little experience I have with her. And, you know, she's alright. Got nothing against her. Certainly gotta say I like her more than I like Assassin in Nightless City. Just because, you know, scantily clad lovelies don't do it for me. I don't like it. Now, hopefully this year, I'll actually be able to get Made Altar, you know, from the rerun event. I failed last year, I was really sad about it, but I'm stockpiling every quartz I can get. And that's part of why I'm doing this now. I know I mentioned it earlier, but get all the quartz I can, and just wail for Made Altar. That's all I need. That and the Grail that I get from this is going to be used to bump my boy Edmund up to level 100.